Hello, good morning. I have a question for all of you. And it's a question I've been asking myself. I believe the moment you start to ask yourself questions to find answers, that is when knowledge starts to kick in because you get answers, then you get answers, then you ask another question, you get answers, and all that. So, personally, I've been working in those rich estates, like we can call them like that, or those apartments that you feel like they have everything you think you might need in your life, like an apartment that has a supermarket, it has a mini shop, it has all those stores, it has a swimming pool, it has a gym, and all those things. So I was just like questioning myself, why is it that they always have a gym, you know? So I was just thinking, um, where I personally stay, there's no gym. This place, there's no gym. Yeah, there's no all those things. It's just like a simple place. It's beautiful, but just very simple. So I was just trying to compare my whole situation and this whole situation and thinking what was to happen if I was to stay in a place where there is a gym, and why is it that there's always gyms in such places. So I started to think about it, and then I actually analyzed the whole situation, and I saw, oh, people in this place actually do workouts. They actually do workouts. They actually exercise. They go for morning runs and all those things. Then I again went and searched for, if you're an overthinker. Personally, I'm an overthinker like 24/7. Like I just wake up at 6 a.m. to start to overthink. I can just wake up anytime and think, it's just like part of me thinking and all that, finding answers, finding solutions. So in the moment again, I started to ask, why do they exercise? How is that important? Because as a person who has ever been a part of the exercising journey or enthusiast about such things, health and exercise, I personally thought, now I need to understand why they do work out, because I've been working out for sometimes in my life, like not really intentionally, but just like randomly I was working out. So which means that I've at least worked out, but I was so unconscious to think about everything that happens around the working out, exercising, and living healthy. So I was just like thinking, this is just like a by the way, because no one has ever come to me to explain to me the importance of all those things. And I was like too busy focusing on the things that didn't matter, just because you want to pursue a career, you want to finish school, you want to have a good job, you want to have all those things. At the end of the day, I personally told you earlier, you can look for money and look for money, but money is never the solution. Money never solves anything. In as much as it's important, I'm just trying to say that it will come on its own time. And it's crazy how it comes when you start to do the things you like doing. So personally, I've been in this journey for 28 days only, just trying to figure out things out and thinking and doing that. So going back to the story where I was talking about the importance of exercises. So I went and I just searched. First thing, actually, I didn't even go to search for the importance of working out and exercise. It just happened by coincidence, or let's say the algorithm just sent a video to me 28 days ago talking about poor people and rich people mindset. And the whole thing was talking about the difference between the rich people and the poor people. That's societal norms. It's the mindset. It is not your background. It is not your looks, because looks don't matter. It is not your height. It's not how beautiful you look. It is not like you understand a lot, you have so many papers and you have so many degrees, because I was actually going to think about taking my master's class, but for a moment I'm like, I want to focus on something else. I want to see what I can do. So it actually said that there's a whole difference between the things that rich people do and the things that poor people do, and how they reason about every aspect and how they think and perceive everything. So this was so crazy to me for a moment, because when we are all raised from families, especially here in Africa, we all know it's the third world continent. Most of the countries, like 90% or 99%, is actually part of that. So we all know that we are raised in situations where most cases we tend not to believe in ourselves. I think it's not even about to blame someone. We're not blaming anyone. It's just about, like, we cannot blame anyone. What we can do is just can change whatever is happening in our life. So personally, I have taken this journey for 28 days, and I can tell you for a fact, it's not it's not that I have like millions of money right now, but I've seen drastic change in most of the things around me, and I'm just like, okay, wow, that is very crazy. And I personally think we will come back to review this video one time, and we will all talk about how much we went through the whole time, because I'm very, very serious about this content creation journey. Because the moment I started to read all the potentials that you can have as a person, I personally believe I can be very, very creative enough, especially enforcing on the things that I have just learned, that I'm going to share with you with time. I'm learning how to content create, so do not be ready to judge, do not be ready to, but you can say whatever you can say, because I want to see whatever I'm doing, if it's making sense to anyone or whatever, because it's important for me to just like know there's a community or people somewhere who relate to whatever I'm saying, because we cannot say we can survive on our own. So we have to like get a community, or just someone, even if it's one individual, who can support our progress or our everything. So personally, I started this journey of changing your whole life, starting from every step you start the moment you wake up. So I've been waking up at 5 a.m. That's not something that, hey, I have ever been doing my entire life. Like, even if I had an important thing to do or whatever, waking up was just a big problem. And I think the biggest problem was the scrolling the phone the whole night. That was the biggest problem that I was suffering from at the moment. So, and I was scrolling the phone, yet I was not doing anything important. I was actually just viewing, posting nonsense, laughing. They were good nonsense though, but I believe the moment I started to think and start to do the right portions of things started to escalate in a good way. Personally, I would say so. Even my health, my mental health, my physical health, and just like a general outlook of who I am right now is just very different, because I just started journaling, which is something that I've never done my entire life. I just learned through watching people who are telling you what to do when you wake up, what to do. And so I started to journal every morning the things I want to do for that day. I started to write down the skills I wanted to start learning. So personally, I've been learning how to content create. I've been learning how to edit. I've been learning how to just like be me and talk and just be not feeling a lot of pressure. And it's crazy because every day seems like a new day, and it seems like there's something new that you haven't learned, because when you start to tell yourself that you do not know anything, and you start to learn things and learning, it's crazy, because ideas will keep flowing and creativity is going to enhance. So I started morning routines, going for morning runs, journaling, fasting for the first like some hours of the morning, because I'm also working on my weight. I was actually bigger than this, and that thing was actually taking away my confidence, because every moment I will look at myself in the mirror, I will wonder, who is this? And everyone will be telling me umenona, and I'll be very, very sad all the time just thinking about it. And now I just thought I needed to remove all the things that make me feel uncomfortable or make me feel unhappy or just not ready to do something, because I feel like I'm not worth it in a way. So I started working on my weight, and then I also continued. I started working on my finances, which was actually worse the time I started working on it, but I can say things are getting somewhere at least. And then I also started reading books. That's something I used to do back then when I was in high school. So after I started having a cell phone, it took all my mind, and I never had time to read. So from there, I have never been a reader or anything like that. So I started also reading. I've read 2 books at as I'm talking. That's a good start. And I also started to work out, go to the gym, uh, looking at what I consume, especially when it comes to food and anything that is online, because I personally think so many things that I was consuming online back then was not really good for me. That's just my personal opinion, and I had to change that. I had to think about things that will teach me skills, things that will teach me how to make money, things that will teach me to be a well groomed person, things that will teach me to just be a presentable person or something like that. And I personally think I've learned so many things. I might not look like whatever you're looking for or expecting, but I personally believe that things around me have really changed so much.